All right, welcome back to the drive-through. This is a 3-1 homework review, sponsored by the deli. Hungry? Stop by the deli and get yourself maybe a breakfast croissant. Okay? All right, so this is number 11 to start. It says 1/5 y is equal to x minus 1/5. And x, here I'll change color on this one, x equals 11 minus y. Okay, it does not say to graph them. It says without graphing, does each system have 0, 1, or infinitely many solutions? Okay, so the key on these is we've got to make it look familiar. It's got to look like y equals mx plus b is really what we want to do. So, does anyone know how to get rid of a fraction if it's being multiplied by a fifth? We could divide by a fifth, but that's going to make your life even worse than it already is, which isn't bad, I hope. I didn't mean to say that. I hope you guys have great lives. But dividing by fractions is really, really annoying, and people screw it up all the time. So instead of dividing by a fifth, do you know what else we could do? Multiply by 5, which is the same thing. You should know that. That's what that Missy Elliott joke is, but I won't keep reusing that joke. So 5 times a fifth is just 1, and 1 times y is just what? It's just y. That's what we wanted to do. Now we have 5x minus, again, 5 times a fifth is a 1. So now that looks a lot more less daunting. Okay, now this one is a weird one to solve as well. Let's just do it one step at a time. I don't know that other people would agree with me, but I'm going to add y to start because we want y to be positive and by itself. So you get y plus x equals 11. And then subtract x, and you get y equals negative x plus 11. And that's the same thing as y equals negative 1x plus 11. So now we've got these equations in two forms, or in a form that we understand. Okay? That's a 1, and those are 1s. It looks like absolute value signs. Okay. So, do these two equations have the same slope? No, they don't. So they're not parallel. So then, how many solutions are there? There's just one solution. Okay, up next is number 15. After today, actually at the end of the bell today, you might have 3 different methods you could have chosen to solve this one. I don't know that graphing would even be the best method, but I'm going to use graphing because it's on the graphing worksheet 1, okay? So, your business needs to ship a package to another store. Company A charges $2.50 per pound plus a $20 service charge. This is pretty standard practice in Algebra 2. Think about the service charge like your delivery fee when you're paying for pizza. Does that make sense? Okay? You only pay it one time. And then that's going to be your y-intercept. So company A has a cost, we'll have A be in blue. Company A has a cost of 2.5 p for pounds plus 20, okay? Company B also has a cost equation, and that's 4.5 per pound without a service charge, okay? Actually, Island, it would be stupid of me to use graphing to do this. So I'm not even going to do that, okay? Because it didn't tell me that I had to. This is kind of a nice little segue into today's lesson. The power of the equal sign. It tells us that C equals 4.5p. So what I'm going to do is take out C here, and what do you think I'm going to put in? I'm going to put in 4.5p. So 4.5p equals 2.5p plus 20. Now I've got one equation, one variable. I can do that, okay? That's the whole trick here. So subtract 2.5p from both sides. And you get 2p equals 20. Divide each side by p, and you get p equals 10. So what that means is that if we have 10 pounds to ship, both companies are going to charge the same amount. Now, what if we wanted to ship 0 pounds? Like, what if you farted in a box and wanted to ship it to somebody? Which one would you go with? Which company would you go with? You would go with company B, right? What would they charge you? Nothing. It's a free delivery. It's 4.5 times how many pounds does your fart weigh? 0. What's 4.5 times 0? 0, which is why no one has that as their actual cost equation, okay? But what this is telling you is that the more weight that you're going to have shipped, the more likely you would be to use the A equation. Does that make sense? All right, so at what weight does the cost for is the same for both? 10 pounds. If your package weighs 14 pounds, which shipping company should you use? Well, if you don't just understand, like, bless you, here's how you could kind of just visualize this. Which one has a higher slope, blue or red? Red does. Red starts at 0, but gets expensive. Blue starts at 20, but it's relatively cheap. This right here is what X value. What did we just find? It's 10 pounds, comma, whatever. We could just plug it in. Actually, it's 10 pounds, comma, $45, right? Okay, so which one would you use if you had 14 pounds? You'd want to use the blue one. Does that make sense to everybody? Boom!